So you just beat Pseudoregalia. You're like, wow, that was great. I want to do that again, but faster. Great. You head over to speedrun.com and find out that top time is 5.5 hours faster than yours. Not great. You watch a speedrun and see some insane parkour and sequence breaks that absolutely melts your brain. Excellent. Now you're ready to dive in and learn how to do it yourself. Luckily for you, you found me. My name is Sassy Cat, and today I'll be introducing you to the amazing world of Pseudoregalia movement tech. Let's start with a fresh file. So we're in the game, but I'm all slow and shit. What's the deal? Well, first we need to learn how to speed walk before we can speed run, you know what I mean? Okay, so to start, it's good to know that Pseudoregalia's movement mechanics are similar to those of Super Mario 64, with a staple trick being called the side flip. A side flip happens in Super Mario 64 when Mario walks in one direction and abruptly walks in the other direction and jumps. The same happens to Sybil, as you can see here. Side flips go higher than normal jumps and can be a great way to get around. Another phenomena that can occur with Sybil's side flips leads to our next trick, the gainer. A gainer is a gymnastic term that refers to doing a backflip that gives you forward momentum. This is extremely important to remember, so don't forget. So great, we can do a gainer and jump higher and move forward. This can be used early on in this room to skip a significant portion. Do you really want to walk all the way around after you get up there though? No, of course not. That's why for this next tip, you have to understand something called coyote time. Coyote time is a coding parameter used in many platformers like Mario all the way to Hollow Knight, and allows the player to jump off a ledge for a short time after leaving the ledge. This is done to allow the players a smoother experience to make up for a more casual reaction time, and is named after Wile E. Coyote. Coyote time is going to come up again soon, so it would be best to remember that as well. So, we've cleared that room and made our way to our first ability, the slide. This ability is the bread and butter of any percent run, due to the movement attack that it allows. So let's go over the basics of how the slide works. In terms of speed and momentum, the slide has a very interesting way of producing and preserving. Take for instance a normal slide. You'll get some really decent speed just by going across the floor, but something funny happens when you go off a ledge. You preserve your momentum. This is important as it's a key factor of the slide and many of the movement mechanics in the first place. Having high speed and momentum allows you to do many things, which brings us to bunny hopping. Bunny hopping allows Sybil to use her current speed and preserve it while traveling. To do a bunny hop, you simply need to have speed and momentum in the air. When you're about to touch the ground, you jump. Simple, right? This can be chained over and over to go vast distances quickly, but you should note that your speed will decay over time. Our next slide tech works in conjunction with this. By sliding off of an edge and keeping your speed, you can bunny hop out of this and keep your slide speed, which is a very fast way of getting around. So what do you do if no ledges are around? Well, that's where glides come in. A glide is a short animation that Sybil does if you chain together two slides, and has a bit of a crouching animation to it. To achieve this, you simply have to slide again at the exact right time at the end of the first slide. Simple is quite the overstatement though, as trying to accomplish this is inconsistent and very difficult. However, you can fudge the numbers a little bit by using this next slide tech, the slide cancel. Slide cancels are done by pressing jump sometime during the slide, typically around halfway. This allows you to cancel the slide early. Sliding and then canceling back to back can result in some very quick slides and is faster than the game would typically allow. If you slide and hit jump and slide at the same time halfway through the first one, you can hit a glide state much easier. The timing can be tricky, but it's well worth the practice, as jumping out of a glide state can allow you to keep your speed, just like sliding off a ledge would. This allows you to chain together high-speed bunny hops without a ledge, and it's a must-have for a speedrun. If you find that you can't get the timing right, you could try a keyboard and mouse, as I found that to be more consistent, but if you would rather use a controller, that's fine too. Just run the game at a lower FPS, as that tends to help. I try to stick to either 40 or 50. So slide cancels and glides. We're moving pretty quickly now. We have a lot of forward momentum, but that's it. What about up? We gotta go up, don't we? Why do we have to go through the ding-dang slide swinging axe room? That shit's dangerous. Well, fear not, friend, for the next tech will allow you to reach the skies. Slide Ultras. So a slide hop happens when Sybil is in a slide and cancels that slide while doing a gainer. Remember how I was talking about keeping forward momentum with gainers? This is why that's important, because with a gainer, the faster you go, the higher you go. That's right, a big fast equals a big jump. You don't even technically need a slide to do this, as just having speed means that if you time a gainer while you go fast, you'll still soar. This is important as well, but more on that later. For a slide hop, you're going to do a slide, and while you slide, you're going to tap back on the stick and jump at the same time. This will result in a skid. While you skid, you simply do a gainer. The key to a slide hop is good timing, as the faster you do it, the higher you'll go. In the newest patch, doing this quickly enough will result in something known as an ultra hop, or ultra for short. You'll know that you've pulled this off successfully because Sybil will leave a blue trail and a sound effect will happen. In earlier patches, this hop was much more powerful and left a yellow trail. In the latest patch, it's still pretty viable, but notably weaker, and easier to do as a threshold for speed to reach an ultra was lowered, allowing this to be done more consistently, especially for a beginner. Another thing to note is that doing a slide hop off a ledge, specifically in Coyote time, will almost always net an ultra, and it is very worth the practice. So now we can move forward fast and jump real friggin' high. For the next lesson, go ahead and grab yourself a pair of boots and head over to the empty Bailey. The first thing we'll need to do upon arrival is a quick pit stop to say hi to our hidden friend, and then an even briefer acquisition of the slide jump ability. The next piece of movement tech we'll be learning is an ultra hop through the use of solar wind. Remember how I said you could do a real high gainer as long as you have speed? That's the core of this technique, as all that's really happening is a gainer after the slide jump. For posterity's sake, just jump and slide at the same time to initiate the slide jump, and at the same time that you land the jump, do a gainer. It's definitely easier said than done, but to help with the timing, do this. Start with the slide jump, and as you hit the ground, pull back on the stick and hit jump at the same time. This will almost always result in an ultra, and will send you flying backwards. We don't want to go backwards though. All the cool shit we need to get to is in front of us, right? So if you can do that ultra going backwards, you've got the right timing. Now instead of going backwards, after you're about to land, pull back and push forward, just like doing a normal gainer. When you press forward, just hit jump at the same time, all of which will be happening after you're on the ground. Once again, the timing can seem tricky, but once you've got the hang of it, it's a lot more lenient than you think. And simple as that, you can do an ultra out of solar wind. With practice, you can send this jump in any direction you want, and I find that getting an ultra out of solar wind is a lot easier than doing it with a slide hop. It's also worth noting that as of the most recent patch, that you can still achieve a blue ultra with this tech, but you can actually achieve the much more sought after yellow ultra as well, and should be what you practice for. This trick is great and essential for any speedrunning running in a 100%, so practice well. Now, about them fine ass boots. Let's creep our way over to this wall here. You want to go up that wall. So what's the natural instinct? Well, you give it the good old 1, 2, and 3 to fling your ass up there. I know what you're thinking though. Sassy. Bro, come on, I just got the fucking solar wind and I'm over here fucking hippity hopping all over the goddamn place. My legs are fucking killing me. Alright, let's talk about some boot tech then. The sun greaves are great and all, but all those little hops in the wall just don't cut it sometimes. Instead of 3 baby kicks, let's do 1 big ass gravity kick. Is that what it's really called? I don't know. A gravity kick occurs when you initiate a slide jump and kick the wall shortly afterwards. So as long as you do it quickly enough, the speed and momentum gets transferred into the kick, resulting in a much higher jump off the wall. You might have figured out how to do this just playing vanilla, but having a name to it is going to help when working in conjunction with our next tech, the reverse wall kick. Is that what it's really called? I don't know. Let's say you reach a wall and you're like, I want to climb that. But there's not enough space for an ultra, and I don't have any other walls to kick off of. Like that one. Let's pretend that's not there. So how do you do it? Well, when you do your first kick, instead of pointing the kick at the wall, point it in the opposite direction. So you'll kick with Sybil's back to the wall, then mid-kick, make her back collide with the wall. Something fun happens, and after colliding, she'll actually jump forward. To chain these together continuously, hold your joystick backwards while doing the jumps. Remember to do it quickly as you want her to continue moving forward. Since she'll still be stuck to the wall, when you kick away from the wall again, she should once again jump towards it. Now this tech is great and all, but what if there's a big wall? Like a really big one? What then? Well, let's combine those 2 pieces of tech to perform a gravity kick climb. Is that what it's really called? I don't know. The timing is really tricky here, and it's going to take some practice, but it's pretty intuitive. Simply slide jump at the wall like you're going to do a gravity kick, but perform a reverse wall kick instead. Again, the timing is important as there's a certain rhythm that you want to do this with. For starters, you have to do the slide jump and initial quite quickly enough to keep that momentum, but all of the consecutive kicks also need to keep that momentum or you won't gain enough height. I find that this specific area of the empty Bailey is ideal for practicing this trick, as the wall is just high enough to reach with the standard 3 kicks. It'll take some time before you have this down pat, but once you do, you'll be able to scale many, many things. Alright, we've gone through all of the most important tech that you'll need to start your speedrunning journey. If there's anything I missed, be sure to leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and happy speedrunning.